go through the phone, I see 13 different women's numbers. He was texting them, offering them money for sex, stuff like that.
Okay, right now, you know, not looking real good.
All right.
Okay.
James told me that it must have gotten stolen.
That's incorrect. I have no idea what he's talking about.
What I can add is I can tell you this punk right here.
Come outside.
Sorry.
No, well, this is going well.
Plaintiff Howard Miller says it was love at first sight, but it turned into heartbreak when the defendant broke off their engagement. Defendant, Demita Jo Morse, admits she called off the wedding. She says she had a good reason. The plaintiff was involved with other women.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Case number 25 on the docket, Miller versus Morse.
Okay, and welcome. I see here we have Mr. Miller.
Yes.
You are the plaintiff, and you are suing the defendant, Ms. Morse, in the amount of $5,000 for the return of an engagement ring.
Yes.
I guess things didn't work out.
No, not at all.
What happened?
Your Honor, it was, I thought love at first sight. I was driving down the street.
Yeah.
And I seen her.
How long ago was this?
About 3 years ago,
Okay.
3 and some change.
Yeah.
So when she had time, we eventually hooked up.
Yeah.
And we started dating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then she was telling me that she finished her school and that she was going to Georgia to move. I said, you go ahead on and go out there and I'll follow you, because I was
Okay,
on,
when did this suddenly get more serious? Because we're talking about an engagement ring here.
It was serious when she left, I thought.
Yeah, okay, but you hadn't given her a ring yet.
I hadn't given it to her yet.
Okay, so tell me, how did we get to the ring?
We were talking about weddings and stuff like that.
Over the phone?
Over the phone. Well, in person, before she left.
Oh, before she left.
Before she left. We were talking about weddings and type of rings and stuff. She told me her ring size.
Oh, okay.
And then she told me...
When they tell you the ring size, that's pretty serious.
Yeah, that's what the women do, you know?
Yeah.
I surprised her and sent it to her because I was on the other end of the country.
You mailed it to her?
I mailed it to her.
Did you overnight it, or you just put it in regular mail?
Yeah, I overnighted it. And
How
I
much
told
was
her
the
that
ring?
$5,000.
Do you have a...
Yes, I have.
Okay, I want to see.
I have my original receipt.
All right.
Right there.
So now we got a ring for $5,000 you bought her. She had no idea it was coming.
She had no idea. I told her it was something else that was coming.
Oh.
I told her that I had gotten some shirts with me and her face on there.
What, like a T-shirt?
Yeah, yeah. And I
You
told
are
her
such
that.
a romantic. So it gets there, and then I assume you get a call from her.
Matter of fact, while I was talking to her, she had a knock at the door, and it was the delivery man.
That was coincidence.
That was perfect timing.
Oh, yeah, it was a coincidence because you didn't know at that moment.
I didn't know it was going to be at that moment. So while I was telling her the T-shirts was on the way, she received a knock at the door, and she received the ring all at the same time.
Just for this question, you opened the... Was that a shock?
Yes, yes.
What did you say to her?
Oh, I was like, I can't believe you did this.
And you said, then what did you say?
Would you marry me over the phone?
Good thinking.
And she said yes. But then once I seen her in person, then I did the traditional way on the knee and all that.
You went on the knee?
Yeah, on the knee, the traditional way.
So what happened now? How did it break up?
Well, we had, she had her ex-boyfriend on her shoulder, and I had confronted her about that.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like a tattoo?
Tattoo,
of the ex-boyfriend on the shoulder?
On her shoulder. So I ended up paying $200 to cover that myself.
Okay.
And so we went through that, and then another one, his picture was with her on Facebook.
From your point of view, what was the reason you guys broke up? Did you want to break up with her?
No, I didn't want to break up with her.
Because you just told me things that you aren't happy with. Why did you guys break up?
I broke up with him
Yes.
because he is a cheater. And
Let me write all this down.
And he's a liar. He's a totally different person.
An amazing amount of cheaters also lie. Yes, go ahead.
The first thing was he left his phone at home one day.
Oh.
And I went through the phone. I seen 13.
Did you suspect things? Is that why you went through it?
I went through the phone because some prior stuff had happened.
Oh, okay.
Some prior stuff had
So you
happened.
had reason to think maybe he's not on the up and up.
Yeah.
So his phone's there. You're looking around. He's not home.
Yes.
When's he coming home?
Exactly.
And now you go, and what do you see on that phone?
I go through the phone. I see 13 different women's numbers in the phone.
Oh.
Where he's texting them back and forth.
Are these women you work with? Are these...
Yes, it's women I work with, but
how do you
if
work
I was
with
going to
It
mess
wasn't
with them,
women. It wasn't
do you think I
women.
would have given her a ring?
He was texting them, offering them money for sex.
Oh,
One
that's
of
the
them was
kind, so
pretty
you are in
young.
business
No,
with them.
not.
Yes.
No, not that kind of business.
Yes,
Not that kind of
13 women.
business.
Yeah.
One of them was pretty young.
Yeah.
And she had sent pictures,
Oh.
naked pictures and video and
All right.
stuff like that.
Okay, right now you're not looking real good.
All right.
Okay.
The second thing was, prior to that,
Yeah.
I got a text via social media
Yeah.
through my phone of a woman saying that he was stalking her and
not the truth.
he was going by her house, he was stalking her
not the
through
truth.
Facebook, and he was calling
not the
her.
truth.
And
Oh.
she said that she was scared and she needed him to stop bothering her. And then he questioned me about the picture on Facebook. It's a picture of an ex-boyfriend that I had in 2005 who's deceased. He's been dead for 13 years now.
I don't think she's cheating with him.
And someone tagged me in the picture.
You know what, Your Honor, that was not the.
Okay.
That was not the. Go ahead.
Okay.
Someone tagged me in the picture,
Oh.
and that's the same picture that he keeps bringing up. And when he called me this one time, I was just fed up with it. I'm like, after all
Yeah.
you did to me,
Yeah.
and I forgave you time and time, and you still keep bringing this picture up.
So you said the engagement's off.
Yes, I was
Okay.
through with it.
And you know what, Your Honor?
It's pretty hard to listen to all of that
You know what,
and
Your Honor?
say that she doesn't have grounds for saying she doesn't want to be married to you.
This would have been my first marriage. I loved her. And I told her when I gave her the ring, if anything ever happens, that she has to give it back.
What I know, I've just met the both of you.
Yes.
All I see, which is the only thing that's relevant here, is you're no longer engaged. She has, I think most people would say, pretty good reason to break up the engagement. But she could break up the engagement if she had no reason.
Yeah.
Maybe she just fell out of love with you.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
Better now than after
That's
you're
right.
married.
That's right.
So that's all okay. So the only issue I'm left with here is whether you, in saying, I don't want to marry you anymore, whether you have an obligation to give back the engagement ring.
Yeah.
Can I see that
Yes,
ring?
the engagement ring
Yeah, you
is
can
gorgeous.
step up here.
And it has sentimental value.
It's very nice. It looks very nice on you. However, normally, when you're together and one gives the other a gift, that's a gift that you give. And if things turn south, you don't get the gift back. You gave a gift. But there is something called a conditional gift. And an engagement ring, in most states, the law recognizes that an engagement ring is what we call a conditional gift.
Yes.
It is given for a very specific reason. Now, as you clearly explained, and the very romantic way of putting it in the box, sending it to her, she's on the phone, it arrives, will you marry me? Yes, I will. You got there, you got down on one knee to back up the giving of that ring. That ring is a conditional gift. And so, because my heart's with you on this one, and I think anyone watching this show is going to be on your side. But the law is the law. And on this particular ring, which was conditioned on the marriage, under the law, if the marriage is off, the ring goes back. And it's breaking my heart to do it because you're such a sweet lady, but you have to return the ring.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to get it back because the law prevailed. It was on my side because that's what the law is for. You can't go and be emotional. You have to do what the law says. And a lot of that stuff she was saying was a lie.
It makes me feel sad, but that's the type of person he is. He can have his stuff back. It doesn't matter.
I paid $5,000 for this ring, and I'm glad to get it back. And I can give it to somebody else who really deserves it.
When Plaintiff Kaighley Stocks bought her neighbor's car, she wasn't expecting it to vanish days later. She's suing for her money back, $1,700. Defendant James Hulbert says he doesn't know what happened to the car, and he certainly didn't have anything to do with it.
Case 86 on the docket, Stocks versus Hulbert.
Let me see who we have here. We have the plaintiff, Ms. Stocks, and you are suing the defendant, Mr. Hulbert, for $1,700 for a reimbursement of a repossessed car. Why don't you tell me your story?
Back in November, I was getting ready to get my license back, and I was looking to purchase a vehicle. And I was outside excited about it, talking to James about it. He was my neighbor at the time. So I was gonna purchase a vehicle from another friend of mine, and he said, no, don't do that, buy my car instead. I just got ownership of it recently, and the title's in the mail. And he told me he would sell it to me for the same price. I was
And what kind of car was that?
James's car was a Honda Civic.
Now, what happened?
Well, I pulled the money out, and I have the receipt right here. It's for $1,700. And I was still thinking about it. And then a few days later, on December 1st, James started pressuring me really bad to buy the car. And I wasn't feeling well. I was sick. And so I actually gave...
Is there going to be any truth to this at all? Seriously.
What's your name?
My name is Chris Martin. I'm her
He's a-
boyfriend. I've been
he's
through it
a
the whole
lawyer.
time
Okay,
with
let
him.
him talk. I'm going to give you a chance.
This man's a complete con artist, and he claimed that he had ownership of the vehicle when he knew he didn't. He acted like he was going to get the title in the mail, and then a couple days later, he was going to sign the title over to her when he knew he was in default with the auto loan. And he was using that to take advantage of her because he knew that she had money on her, that she needed a car, and
I've been
You
saving
told
for
me
years.
you told me she had money.
Whatever the reason was, you're saying you gave him the money.
She was sick that day, and she asked me to go ahead and fill in for her place and to bring money over and get the keys.
Now, you have the money. What happened?
Well, the car was in the parking lot with a club on it. And a couple days later, I noticed the car was gone. It was out of the parking lot. And so I freaked out. I called James. I was like, where's the car? Thinking maybe he had an extra key. So James told me that it must have gotten stolen. And he told me I need to file a police report that it was a stolen vehicle. And
There's a truth there.
What happened?
the police call me and they say, we found your car, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. And they told me that it was not stolen. It had been repossessed by the original, like the owner of the vehicle.
The owner of the
The
vehicle?
S&M Auto dealership.
The
that
people that
gave him the
repossessed
loan
the car.
For the
Oh,
car.
so you're saying you paid James the money, but from her story, it wasn't your car. It was owned by someone else.
The dealership.
The
must
Yeah.
have owned
dealership
it. Yeah, he
owned
still
the
owed
car.
$900 on it.
And so the dealership repossessed the car because $900 was still owned.
That's incorrect. I have no idea what he's talking
I
about.
have a paper that
Okay.
Let's get
says
the paper.
the text message you sent me,
Let's see it.
actually, of the what he owed
Okay.
on the vehicle.
Here is the repossession statement saying that you could get the car back because they don't know about this
How come
yet.
I never got that letter?
You sent me that text message with that.
I'm not made of money. I've been saving that money for 2,
She said that.
and you use an adverb here, years. It's an adverb.
This is the same.
I just got my license. Oh, this is you saying,
Yeah, that
I
was-
just got my
that was
license
Kaighley.
today and I
That was me
want my
saying
money back. I already talked to S&M and they said, you're not getting it back. You told me you paid it off and we're waiting for the title. You knew it was getting repossessed, she's saying to you. What part of this is not true?
The only part's true is me selling the car, or selling the car to her. And
Okay.
he's the one who pressured me.
No
to-
adverbs, sir. Please respect the court, sir.
I have a potty mouth, sorry.
Go ahead.
He just gets me worked up, so.
Yeah.
They have this picture that they're painted for you, and that's fine. Go ahead, believe what you want. Yes, she was sick that day. He's the one who wanted to buy the car because he has the same car, so they both could be driving around in the same car and looking the way they do.
It doesn't much matter which one bought the car from you. The point is money was given to you for this car that legally you did not get owned because you still owed money on it.
No, I don't believe that. That was paid off because the guy that I bought that from, you keep laughing, I swear to God.
How do you not believe something?
Sir,
Come on, you
it's
Latin
true.
king, right?
Hey,
You have to
weirdo.
watch your language.
Yeah,
You'll be dismissed and you'll lose the case. You have to respect the courtroom.
Now, you wound up with the car. How did you wind up with the car?
When I thought it was stolen, I had posted it all over Facebook because I really needed it to take my driver's test. And I guess a bunch of people saw my post on Facebook and they came together and they paid the remaining balance because they saw how messed up what he did to me was.
So that now the title could be yours.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And she had to just go to the S&M Auto and talk to the manager there, Dean, and he had a notice of the title transfer made in her name, and she paid.
Okay, I'll take a look
paid
at
for
that.
We haven't witnessed.
Sir,
I called that one.
please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, what can you add to this?
Well, what I can add is I can tell you this punk right here is thief. That's what he is.
He doesn't.
Your
Yeah.
Honor. Okay.
I second that motion.
You walk.
Then he's taking it outside. Come outside.
Sir,
No.
You just don't want to get whooped up on camera.
Well, this is going well.
Sorry, man. I had to sit back here and listen to the lie.
Hold on.
You don't want to be a
You
loser
walk in
twice
here.
in all
Okay,
this.
time out. You walk into a courtroom, and the first thing you do is start cursing.
I didn't curse, Your Honor. I called him a punk. And I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay. This is a court of law, so everyone, let's be respectful. Now, what is your testimony?
My testimony is the fact that he sold,
The defendant,
the defendant sold a vehicle that he did not own, that myself and my wife owned, S&M Auto Sales. He conned her out of her money, knowing that it was out for repossession. I had contacted him on many occasions to let him know that if he didn't pay, I was picking the vehicle up.
At the time that he sold the car to her,
Yes, Your Honor.
how much did he still owe on the car?
$894.71, Your Honor.
So how did the car wind up with hers?
My wife and myself, who own S&M Auto Sales, noticed a post on Facebook at the same place Mr. Hulbert tried to sell the car,
Yeah.
and it said sold. A day later, there was a post on there that says, be on the lookout for this Honda Civic. I answered a phone call from her in tears. She asked what transpired. I explained to her that we repossessed the car. I was in shock that Mr. Hulbert sold the car to her and took her money. My wife and I mowed it over, talked to some people that we associate with in the recovery community.
Yes.
And decided to come together and informed her that by law, we had to hold the car for 10 days, give Mr. Hulbert 10 days in that letter to pay the balance in full.
So he could have still...
He could have came and got the title and paid it off, yes, sir.
That never happened.
Never happened, Your Honor.
Okay.
So we decided to sell her the car for $1.
Wow. Very nice. The defendant has your $1,700 still.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will have to make a decision in absentia. Verdict for the plaintiff in the sum of $1,700.
My wife and I are pretty lenient and trustworthy people, and there's a lot of good out there in some people. Some people just turn bad.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna fight. I mean, we're not gonna fight, or I don't know. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette.
I couldn't believe that somebody would actually do anything like that after what James had done to me. I was in tears.
Yeah, it just shows that there's still good people out there that come together for a good cause.
Thanks for watching. Now please approach the bench. The way I look at it, you have two options here. Option A, watch more Judge Jerry. Option B, watch more Jerry Springer. The choice is yours. Now get out of my courtroom. You have more clips to watch. And don't forget to subscribe.